Right now, light is bouncing off this screen, hitting a curved piece of tissue at the front of your eye, flipping completely upside down and getting decoded by your brain into whatever you're seeing this exact second. And somewhere in that image, right now, there's a blank spot, a literal hole in your vision. You've never noticed it, not once in your entire life. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why that hole exists, how your eyes actually work, and a few habits that could be quietly wrecking your vision without you realizing it. Let's get into it. Your eye is basically a camera, except it's a camera that's been quietly running non-stop since before you were even born. Light enters through the cornea first, that clear, curved dome at the very front. And the cornea actually does most of the heavy lifting when it comes to focusing light, way more than people expect. From there, light passes through the pupil, that black circle in the center of your eye, which is really just a hole whose size is controlled by the iris, the colored ring around it. Bright room, the iris shrinks the pupil down. Dark room, it opens wide to let more light in. It's doing this constantly, automatically, without you ever thinking about it, like a tiny bouncer deciding how much light gets into the club. Behind the pupil sits the lens, which fine-tunes the focus, kind of like the last little adjustment a camera makes before snapping a photo. And here's where it gets genuinely wild. All of that light, after passing through the cornea and lens, lands on the retina at the back of your eye, completely upside down. Your actual vision at the raw biological level is flipped. Your brain is the one quietly flipping it right side up in real time every second without you ever noticing the switch. You've never seen the world the normal way up until your brain got involved. The retina itself is where things get seriously impressive. It's packed with around 120 million rod cells and 6 million cone cells. Rods handle low light and movement, which is why you can still sort of navigate a dark room, but everything looks gray and blurry. Cones handle color and detail, and you've got 3 types of them, each tuned to different wavelengths of light, and together they let most people distinguish somewhere around 10 million different colors. Not 10, not 10,000, 10 million. Right in the center of your retina is a tiny spot called the fovea, and that's your sharpest vision zone, the only part of your eye producing crisp, detailed, full-color images. Everything outside that little zone, your peripheral vision, is way blurrier and far more black and white than you'd think. Your eyes are actually darting around constantly, dozens of times a second, specifically so that sharp little fovea spot can scan across whatever you're looking at and stitch together the illusion of one big, clear, detailed picture. Your brain is basically doing live video editing every single moment you're awake. Now, back to that blind spot. All the information your retina picks up has to leave the eye somehow, and it exits through the optic nerve, which connects straight to your brain. But right where that nerve exits, there are 0 rods and 0 cones because there's simply no room for them. That spot can't see anything at all. It's a true blind spot, and you have one in each eye. So why have you never noticed a black hole floating in your vision your entire life? Because your brain, being the overachiever it is, just fills in the gap using surrounding visual information and data from your other eye and stitches it together so seamlessly you genuinely never know it was there unless someone showed you exactly where to look. So that's how the eye works. Now let's talk about what can actually go wrong with it, because vision problems are way more common than most people assume. The most common issue by far is a refractive error, which just means the eye doesn't bend light quite right, causing nearsightedness or farsightedness. Not dangerous, easily fixed with glasses or contacts, but it affects a huge chunk of the population. Cataracts are next, which is when the lens itself clouds up with age. Then there's glaucoma, sometimes called the silent thief of sight, because pressure quietly builds up inside the eye and gradually damages the optic nerve, often with 0 symptoms until vision loss has already started, which is exactly why regular eye pressure checks matter, even if your vision currently feels fine. Macular degeneration is another big one, where the central part of your vision, that sharp fovea zone we just talked about, slowly deteriorates with age, usually affecting older adults. And for anyone with diabetes, diabetic retinopathy is a serious risk, where high blood sugar damages the tiny blood vessels feeding the retina over time.
Here's the good news, though. A shocking amount of this is preventable, or at least seriously slowed down with pretty simple habits. Your eyes love the same nutrients your body does. Leafy greens, fish rich in omega-3s, and yes, carrots actually do help thanks to vitamin A. So that old advice wasn't just something your parents made up to get you to eat vegetables. UV protection matters too, and not just on obviously sunny days. Sunglasses that block UV rays help protect your retina from long-term damage. If you're staring at a screen right now, which, let's be honest, you probably are, try the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. It sounds too simple to work, but it genuinely reduces eye strain and gives your focusing muscles an actual break. Blinking matters more than people think too, since screens make us blink less often, which dries the eyes out faster than usual. And regular eye exams are honestly underrated, since conditions like glaucoma can be quietly progressing with literally no symptoms, and a basic checkup can catch it years before you'd ever notice anything yourself.
So next time you look at literally anything, remember, there's a live camera in your skull, flipping images upside down and back again, filling in gaps in your vision without asking permission, and somehow making you distinguish 10 million colors without ever once glitching out. Comment below if you had no idea about the blind spot thing, because most people go their whole life without ever knowing it's there. And if you found this helpful, share it with someone who spends way too much time staring at screens, because their eyes could probably use the reminder too. Subscribe for more of these breakdowns, because apparently every part of the human body is quietly more impressive than we ever give it credit for. This video is for educational purposes only and isn't a substitute for professional medical advice, so if something feels off with your vision, get it checked out by an actual eye doctor.